It's now been 1 week since the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy is now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as hell on earth.
The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn has seen multiple deaths in recent years.
Diddy is having the worst time of his life in prison. Who thought the biggest mogul of the rap industry would have to spend life in such conditions? It seems like what Diddy did to others is coming back at him. The newly revealed footage shows it. A person reaps what he sows. Diddy's situation is nothing different. He laughed when others suffered. It is time he pays back. Or is it? The question is, does Puff really deserve the extreme living conditions? Is he actually guilty of the crimes for which he has been alleged? Or is it all a setup to bring down the legend? Make sure you stay all ears until the end as we unfold the dark secrets of the prison and the possibility of Diddy spending his life in that place. News has been revealed about Puff's arrest and the disgusting and horrifying conditions he has been forced to live in. The fans are shaken to their cores. Facilities provided to the mogul are nowhere near what he was used to. Puff was arrested a few days back on charges of physical violence and transport of humans. Allegedly, Puff used his dominance and influence to use women and fulfill his sexual desires, and also to protect his reputation. Combs and people related to him have been accused of creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. When a person is habitual of comfort and luxury, a little discomfort can cause a greater effect. However, in Diddy's case, the change isn't trivial. Rather, the conditions are being said to be inhumane. When he wakes up, he's staring at cinder block painted white walls, as opposed to whatever the decor of his mansions was. Michael Cohen, President Donald Trump's former fixer, told CNN. Cohen himself has spent time in prison, and he knows what it is like to be there.
The food is inedible, from what I've been told. It's way too hot in the summer. Sometimes there's no heat at all in the winter. The toilet water has been known to freeze. It's violent. Someone like Mr. Combs, might be a target for certain things, and we can't let that happen.
Diddy's prison room tour. Surprise, surprise. It's not your mansion, Diddy, it's jail. He's been floating on cloud nine for the last 20 years, and now he's got to drop back to earth cold turkey. That's gotta be one hell of a come down. But Diddy's legal team is not ready to leave the rapper in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Thus, they requested the court to move him to Essex County. However, their protest was met with denial. In a court document obtained by All Hip Hop, Agnifilo stated, "At this point, there is no request from counsel that the court take any action. The application for bail was also turned down. Every moment of the Bad Boy Records producer is being monitored. He was also placed on suicide watch. Thus, Puff has no other option except to wait for his trial." Combs' lawyers did not believe the Metropolitan Detention Center to be fit for Puff's detention. They used judges' statements and recent deaths at the prison to argue for a change in the location of the detention. Mark Agnifilo, Puff's lawyer, informed that the producer has been kept in MDC's special housing unit, which provides extra security for the convict. However, according to the lawyer, this has made the trial preparations more difficult for the legal team.
Judges have also raised alarms. They've pressed the Bureau of Prisons for status updates and implored the agency to fix things. One judge even refused to send some defendants to the jail. For now, Combs is one of about 1,200 people locked up at MDC Brooklyn.
Based on an argument on this, the lawyer requested a change in Puff's detention location. However, the judge refused, adding that it's up to the Bureau of Prisons to decide. Footage of Diddy's arrest has also gone viral. In the video, Diddy can be seen wearing a black coat, entering the lobby of Park Hyatt Hotel in New York. He was accompanied by his crew of several men. However, as soon as Puff entered the lobby, he was jumped on by law enforcement, who separated the mogul from his friends.
Watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
And he wasn't expecting the federal agents to show up at his hotel. People who accompanied Puff could be seen in a state of shock, wondering what happened and what to do next. The rap mogul himself couldn't believe what was happening. Puff then reappeared on the camera, but now he was not a free man anymore. Rather, his hands were cuffed behind his back. Then the authorities walked him out of the hotel's main gate while the pedestrians watched. Video captured a few moments before the arrest showed how great a time Puff was having with his friends. He was seen interacting with fans and having a fun time. Mark reiterated how disappointed Diddy is with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Mark explained to the court how Puff built his empire with pure hard work and worked towards a better status for the black community. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the black community, the statement said. He is an imperfect person, but he is not a criminal. He also noted that Puff has cooperated with the authorities in the current investigation. However, the court still considered him a danger as it rejected the request for bail. MDC Brooklyn was opened in the early 1990s by the Bureau of Prisons. It is mainly used for post-arrest detention of people who wait for their trial in Manhattan and Brooklyn courts. The other inmates include criminals serving short sentences. Manhattan's crumbling center was closed in 2021, however, Brooklyn's project kept on operating despite the problems it faced.
Yet many of the facilities are literally falling apart. A new Justice Department Inspector General report saying all 123 Federal Bureau of Prison facilities require maintenance, with some in dire need of upgrades.
People who have spent time in the jail have complained about its horrific conditions, showing light on the issues of violence, shortages of staff, and widespread smuggling of drugs, in which the employees are allegedly involved. The prison is not considered to be safe for the inmates. Uriel White was stabbed to death in June, and only a month later, Edwin Cordero passed away following a brawl after he got hurt. 4 people have also done suicide in the past 3 years. Cordero's lawyer told the New York Times that his client was just a victim of an overcrowded, understaffed, and neglected federal jail that is hell on earth. How can the jail be a safe place for the inmates when the employees aren't clean? In the past 5 years, at least 6 employees of the center have been found guilty of crimes. The crimes involved accepting bribes and providing unauthorized items, including mobile phones, cigarettes, and drugs.
A 2021 search of a federal prison in Atlanta found 134 inmate-made weapons, marijuana, methamphetamine, and enough prescription pills to almost fill 2 one-gallon bags, and 705 cell phones, some hidden in walls.
The prison's conditions have been noted by the judges and advocates who have criticized the Bureau of Prisons for dangerous, barbaric conditions. The situation is so bad that some judges have reportedly refrained from sending convicts to the center, and if they had to be sent, then their sentences have been reduced. Things have happened here which never have in any other place. For instance, in January, U.S. District Judge Foreman allowed Gustavo Chavez to roam free on bail while he waited for his sentencing for charges of drug crimes. Prosecutors no longer even put up a fight, let alone dispute that the state of affairs is unacceptable, Furman wrote. The list keeps on going. In August, Judge Gary Brown informed the Bureau of Prisons that if the 75-year-old defendant charged with tax fraud was sent to MDC Brooklyn, he would nullify his 9-month sentence and place him in home confinement. The Metropolitan Correctional Center was shut down in 2021 due to similar problems. Jeffrey Epstein's suicide was the turning point. There wasn't proper security, the staff was insufficient, and the conditions were inhumane. The concrete fell, the cells were busted, and the temperature was too low for survival. When asked about detaining Puff in prison, followed by Epstein's death, Manhattan-based U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said, "We are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial." He added, the Federal Bureau of Prisons revealed in a statement how they are addressing the concerns raised by the judges. "We also take seriously addressing the staffing and other challenges at MDC Brooklyn. They also informed on their procedures, such as adding permanent correctional and medical staff and remedying more than 700 backlogged maintenance requests." The court's behavior towards not changing Puff's detention location and turning down all the requests seems to be a hint towards a sentence against the rap mogul, where we have witnessed judges altering sentences to protect inmates from the prison's harsh environment. Puff is not even being granted bail. Despite Diddy's miserable situation, a pending lawsuit lingering like a sword on his head, and his career at stake, the rapper has shown why he remained the uncrowned king of the industry over the decades. He has demonstrated exemplary positivity. TMZ interviewed Mark Agnifilo for a new documentary titled The Downfall of Diddy, the Indictment, where the lawyer stated that the mogul's state of mind was actually remarkably positive. He also informed the interviewer that he speaks from experience after spending hours with his client and observing the same thing. "I spend several hours with him every day. He added, his resolve is strong. He's engaged. The lawyer continued to explain that Diddy had come to terms with the fact that this is where he is for now, and that he's focused on his defense. Mark also told the outlet that he is working on getting a trial date as soon as practicable. People shared that Diddy is no longer being monitored for suicide attempts. This shows that Puff has kept a calm head and he is in complete senses at this time. Puff has also met his family in the center. He is focused and very strong. A lawyer for Combs told the outlet he is concentrating on his defense and preparing for his trial. Diddy's situation seems far from getting better. Many people have stepped up against Puff following the recent lawsuits he faced. However, even after the arrest, the flow did not stop. In New York, a woman named Jane Doe filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs with allegations of being drugged by the mogul and physically violated by him, causing the woman to get pregnant. According to the filing, the woman met Diddy abroad in 2020 and she continued facing the torture until July of the current year. Jane explained how Diddy would make her travel to his homes in different cities, and when she did, she was allegedly forced to perform a show for the mogul. On one occasion, in July 2022, the woman reportedly blacked out after she was forced to take a drug that included ketamine. About her pregnancy, the woman informed how one of Diddy's associates kept asking her to abort, and according to the lawsuit, there was a miscarriage. The viewers have different emotions following the conviction of Puff and the detention center he was sent to. Some criticized this action in light of Epstein's death. They commented on how the authorities failed to provide better security for him and how Diddy is exposed to the same risk as well. The comment stated, "Yeah, right, safeguarded like Epstein was on suicide watch." Other viewers believed Diddy was getting what he deserved. They had an opinion that when the people who Puff allegedly hurt were not protected by the authorities, Diddy should get the same treatment in return. A netizen wrote, "And who safeguarded those many people that he negatively impacted? Get your priorities straight." Another user used humor to diss Puff. Puff is famous for his freak-offs. Thus, the viewer commented on how the practice is going to continue inside the prison now. That jailhouse is about to have a lot of freak-offs with Diddy being their tasty treat. What's up for next then? Will Puff be released at the trial? Or will he have to spend years in the same place? Or can he actually survive until the trial is held? Guilty or not, let's hope Puff stays safe and he receives the sentence he actually deserves. This was all for today. Make sure you inform us in the comments section about your views on Diddy's arrest and the conditions of the prison. Has Puff finally hit the end of the road, or does a miracle await? Thanks for watching.